Welcome to a brand new episode of the Goodfirms Leaders Roundtable podcast. I'm your host, Suhana, and if this is the first time you're listening to us, then I'll give you a small brief of what Goodfirms is. So, Goodfirms is a leading B2B review and rating platform that has just one mission: to help you choose the right business partner for your next project. Leaders Roundtable is our initiative to have more conversations about different topics relating to business, technology, and more. And coming back to this episode, for today, I am talking to the co-founder and CEO of Percepto Digital, Ran Blayer. He's an online reputation expert and digital communication strategist, and since almost 2005, he's been advising top CEOs, business leaders, and brands on how to navigate through corporate and reputation challenges. So, Ran, I welcome you to the Leaders Roundtable. And do you want to add anything into the intro, something that I might have missed?
So first of all, thanks for having me, Suhana. It's my pleasure to participate in your podcast. So I think you were pretty accurate. Indeed, I am in digital marketing since 2005. And yeah, I saw all the changes that took place in this industry along the years. And in the last 12 years or so, I managed to combine my digital marketing background with reputation management and digital communication, which is a fascinating combination, to my opinion.
I agree. It's a fascinating industry to be in. And Ran, you've been the CEO and co-founder of Percepto for about a decade now. So is there a story behind choosing this particular field, the reputation management and the digital marketing industry that you are in? So any story or something the audience or even your friends don't know about?
Well, like many things in my life, it all started with a coincidence. So I was, as I mentioned, I'm in digital marketing since 2005, and I was leaving my previous position as VP Sales and Marketing in digital agency and was looking for my next opportunity. And then I heard about this company named Percepto, and I was joining Percepto. I was starting as VP Sales and Marketing. So that was my first year, was a VP Sales and Marketing, and then I was appointed as the CEO once the former CEO left. So I was appointed by the previous owners of the company as the CEO, and I just love this combination. I didn't know much about reputation management and PR before I joined Percepto, and once I dive into this fascinating world, I found it really interesting in the fact that you can take or you can leverage all sorts of digital marketing tools and platforms to be able to share a story or to promote a certain narrative and messages. For me, it was super interesting. And then in 2018, me and my partner Nir, we did a management buyout, and only then we became the owners of the company. So my journey as an entrepreneur and agency owner started about 6.5 years ago, and it's been fascinating.
That's amazing. I have been in digital marketing for about 3 to 4 years, and I have been equally amazed by how you can use storytelling to increase sales. And we never really thought about how digital marketing could come into our daily lives and make all of our decisions, because at the end, what we see is getting sold, right?
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
So you told about your experience as VP of Sales and Business Development at a previous company. How do you see the intersection between sales, reputation management, and how can businesses leverage this synergy to their advantage?
Well, I think that having a positive and a professional image today is essential. If it's done correctly, it can significantly facilitate growth and open new opportunities of expansion for both companies and businessmen. I mean, we see many cases of companies that come to us when their reputation is already damaged. It's much more difficult and challenging to restore one's reputation and grow from this stage. as opposed to maintaining it. But anyway, the fact that, and it's much more difficult to create an effective sales and marketing strategy and to implement successfully this if you suffer from a negative or challenging reputation. I think it's the basis for a company to have a solid and professional reputation. Also, to have a strong brand presence is very important for them in order to succeed and grow.
Right. I completely agree. And the online reputation that company has is almost like the first thing that a potential buyer or customer will come across, because people are more prone to check reviews when they are buying a product or using a service. So reputation management, as you said, that you've seen companies come to you when their reputation has already gone bad. So the lesson is actually not wait for that and not wait for crisis, and look into how your brand is being perceived from the beginning. Can you share some insights on how businesses can build and maintain a positive online image before any crisis arise?
Yes, of course. First of all, you are right. I mean, most of the companies and private clients that would reach out to us would do it after they are being hit by a crisis or negative information or negative articles that were published about them. But along the years, we have more and more clients that understand the importance of being proactive. So I fully agree with what you said. And maybe the most important step to take is to make sure that you have a clear and concise brand narrative and key messages. And that's really the basic. So once you have that, you can do all sorts of things in order to amplify and to promote and distribute these messages and this narrative to make sure it's accessible to your target audiences and stakeholders. So that would be like the second stage. So you have to have the strategy and make sure the strategy is being implemented and amplified to the right audiences, and those audiences can hear about your narrative and messages. There are many ways to make sure it's prominent online. There are many platforms that can be utilized for that. Really depends on your stakeholders and target audiences and the places where they're at online. The stronger your reputation and online image is, the more resilient it will be to future crises. Think about like the strongest brand out there. I mean, their brand identity is so important. So even if, I'm not speaking about major crises, but even when they got hit by all sorts of like relatively smaller crises or less significant information that was published about them, again, for them, it would be much easier to get through this crisis with minimal impact.
And in today's interconnected digital world, misinformation or negative comment can spread rapidly. Like we also say that false news travels faster than the true stories.
Yeah.
What are some proactive steps businesses and organizations can take to actually monitor and address any potential reputation threats before they can become big and more people can take notice? So what are those steps businesses can take?
Well, I think the first thing you should do is to use online monitoring tools, which is, quite easy. And once you have that in place, ideally, you should have a comprehensive crisis plan in place and also an organization that is ready with crisis simulation. The more established the organization is, the better are the chances that they are involved in those type of steps that I just mentioned. Like they have the crisis simulation and a crisis plan. But from our experience, even medium businesses with serious and very strong businesses, they don't usually do it proactively. And I think that's very important. Once you have that, a strong and positive online presence will help you maintain a positive image. So it's not just about passively monitor and be prepared, but also proactively making sure that you have a strong and professional online presence that will best promote your key messages and your brand.
And for anybody who is listening to us right now, if someone is not aware with what a crisis plan looks like, or what are some online monitoring tools, so if you had to list some of them, explain in brief about a crisis plan and mention some monitoring tools, what would they be?
Yeah, so there's like a long list of like monitoring tools such as Mention and Brand24, and there's like a long list. So it's really a commodity nowadays. Each tool has its own advantages, there's pros and cons. I think the main challenge with the monitoring tools is the fact that it generates a lot of data, so it really depends how you work with that, how you able to extract the important data out of all the noise. And obviously, the more high profile the organization is and the more mention it has online, it requires more resources and time to really understand the data and to take the important information out of it. So the bigger the organization is, usually we see people that this is exactly what they do. I mean, they have special positions and people that are in charge on brand monitoring. So that's just a few examples.
Okay. And Ran, you've worked with these different clients across different sectors. So can you share any industry-specific challenges or insights related to reputation management you've encountered?
Yeah, so as a reputation management company, we're really quite sector agnostic. So we had an opportunity to work with companies from various sectors, but along the years, we had an opportunity to work with many clients that come from the financial sector. We've worked with many financial institutions as well as private clients from the financial sector. I really think that specifically in this sector, credibility is super important. And you should be able to have a good image, to go through a successful due diligence process in global reputation databases such as WorldCheck. And this is part of the challenges that we often have to deal with when clients reach out to us and ask for our help, how they can create this credibility and how they can deal with these reputation databases, which sometimes can be quite biased. So the clients we've had from this industry that actively maintained a solid and professional online presence not only increased their growth in business, but also managed to overcome crisis much more relatively, I would say, quicker and with less damage to their companies and brands.
I completely agree that when we pick some financial institutions or we have to make any decisions relating to money, we always double check or look online and look for anything which makes us aware about the service that we are going to use. And reputation management specific to financial institutions is very important because there are people's money attached to it, people's feelings.
Exactly. Many of the clients that we work with, for example, are investors. So the due diligence process is something that is quite important and it works in both directions. So for example, they do due diligence for companies that they want to invest in and vice versa. So companies that seek investments also do their own due diligence on the investor, and especially the more interesting and appealing the company is, they are able to choose the investors they want to take money from. So it's really important for both the companies and the investors to make sure that background is very clear and positive, and there's a very clear narrative about their experience, about their investment history. So it's all connected to the fact that once you have this information out there and it's prominent online and it's relatively easy to reach, so I think it increases the chances of the companies and the investors to get to their targets and for the investors to be accepted as investors and for the company to raise money.
And Ran, with the rise of social media and online review platforms, even if there's a single device coming up or even if there is a new launch of very big brand, there is always customer feedback, which can significantly impact a brand reputation. They can make or break it, if I had to say. So how can businesses effectively manage and respond to customer feedback to maintain a positive online image?
First of all, I agree. The online reviews is a tough thing. And, a company, whether if it's a small company, it's a service company or a product company, it's all about being able to provide a valuable product or a valuable service. So it's all starting with the actual service you provide or with the level of the product. If you're offering a bad product, there's really nothing you can do about it. But on the other hand, we can see many companies that have a very good product or they offer a very high level and quality service, and still they suffer from negative or sometimes unjust online reviews. This can be like a really challenge. I agree. So the one thing that we usually ask them to do is to, first of all, to proactively encourage happy clients to leave reviews. So it's not just leave it to coincidence, but try to proactively have those happy clients, because we know that unhappy clients are always leaving reviews, and that's one thing, because sometimes the incentive of an unhappy client is more significant. However, you shouldn't just wait and be passive about these reviews. So ask your happy clients to leave reviews. Be transparent. If you did something wrong, if you provided not a very good service, be honest about that, be transparent, take responsibility, say what you need to do in order to improve, be very specific about your next steps.
And for startups or emerging businesses, something like reputation management might not always be on top of their mind. So when they are in their growth phase, or if they are looking for funds or actively hiring, a new startup founder might have 10 different things on his or her plate, and reputation management might not be one of them. So how do you convey the importance of reputation management to your clients or someone who may not actually think that it's important?
Yeah, so first of all, I agree that for very early stage startups, the focus should be on their product and not on anything else. But once you have a mature product and you're ready to start your sales and marketing, especially considering the startup is always thinking about their next funding round, have a clear messaging and be able to describe their product value and differentiation in a simple words while promoting not just the company, but also the CEO is very important and very helpful. And by the way, this is something that is we see it mainly in relatively early stage startups, that even when they are ready to start marketing themselves, they usually focus on the brand and on the company and product, and they would not give enough attention to promoting the founders or the CEO of the company. And I think it's very important, because in the end of the day, when you're trying to get to the new funding round or when you're trying to get to new clients, it's more easy for people to connect with people than for people to connect with brands and technology. And those startups sometimes tend to forget that. So we always try to convince the startups that we work with to combine those two approaches. So on the one hand, to promote the company and the product, obviously, but always to position the founders or the CEO of the startup as a thought leader, an expert in his field, and it works really great together.
I really liked how you talked about how people actually connect to an individual versus a product, because you even talked about personal branding, and I'm actually looking at your LinkedIn profile, and I believe that you actively look into your personal branding because it definitely shows of what you're passionate about and also brings equal amount of attention to your company Percepto, and that's what other new startup founders should also be doing, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I started actively maintaining my own LinkedIn account just 1 year ago, 2 years ago. It's not that I wasn't active, but I wasn't as active as I am today, because I do understand the importance of having my face out there and to have my personality more open to other people that I do business with. So I fully understand that this importance. I agree with what you just said.
So, Ran, can you give us a process of creating a proactive reputation management strategy from initial assessment to ongoing monitoring and adjustment and maintaining if they have faced with any crisis?
Yeah, sure. So, like many things in life, it should always start with the strategy to understand the client's targets, the opportunities, the threats, and the existing online image the client has. That would be the first stage, to create a strategy. Now, once we have a reputation strategy in place, it's time to look at the implementation. And I think the most important thing in having a robust implementation is the fact that you should always look at how we can best leverage or utilize a long list of online and digital platforms. So it's not just about being able to create PRs and articles. It's about a combination of looking at the client's owned web assets, how you can create new web assets, for example, blogs, websites, Wikipedia pages, thought leadership pieces. And in many cases, in case the client already work with an existing PR, for example, which is sometimes happens to us. Some of our clients would work with an existing PR and they just need our digital support. So in this case, you need to start collaborate with their outsourced provider and see how we can best utilize the different PR initiatives and make sure that the new articles and press releases that are issued by the client are more prominent online. They can be seen by the right target audiences and stakeholders. Many things that can be done. Obviously, ongoing monitoring, and not less important, the online reputation strategy needs to be adjusted along the way because the client's targets can be changed, his focuses can be changed. This should be reflected in the content strategy and in the online reputation strategy. So it's always about creating a strategy, implementing the strategy, monitor, update the strategy according to different changes that happens, and so on.
Thank you so much, Ran, for giving us a proper workflow about how a company can manage their reputation online from initial assessment of what the founder actually wants, and even if that changes, to continuously monitor strategy so that it aligns to the vision that the company has. So lastly, can you talk about how startups and businesses can use our platform, Goodfirms, to manage their reputation online and turn potential visitors into their customers?
So I can say, as a company, that we have our own listing on Goodfirms. I think it serves a few important goals. So we spoke about reputation. There is the open reviews that can give potential clients a way to have a better understanding of the type of service we provide, how happy our clients are, and I think that's super important. And for us, it really creates a very important stream of incoming leads that are interested in our services. So that's super important for us as service providers, and also for potential clients. It can be a really good platform to choose the right providers from them and have all this information about all the different companies very accessible to them and help them to take the most educated and smart decision for them.
Thank you so much, Ran. And as a B2B review and rating platform, we always encourage businesses to maintain a positive online image by, as you mentioned, that ask your happy clients to leave reviews. We always ask businesses that are listed on Goodfirms to encourage their clients to leave reviews so that they have a positive online image, which results to obviously better reputation. So thank you so much, Ran, for sharing your knowledge on a topic like this, because we've been talking about different technologies, but we are so glad to take up reputation management with a company who is actively working in this space.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, and as I told you before, we're really enjoying working with Goodfirms, and we really love the platform, and the fact that you chosen to have this interview with us is really great, and I really appreciate it, and it was my pleasure having this conversation with you, Suhana. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ran. And if our audience wants to know more about Ran's company Percepto. They can go through the LinkedIn profile, which will be linked in the podcast description, and also can go through Ran's LinkedIn profile to know more about him. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we'll be back with another episode.